Pete McGrath's team are unchanged after their famous victory over Roscommon. Tomás Corrigan is fit to start despite a scare over a hamstring problem earlier this week. Owen Donnelly and Sean Quigley are just two of their summer stars. They've been outstanding during their run to round 4. John Heslin is a huge loss for Westmeath. He misses out with a broken heel. Ger Egan is another big-name absentee because of a groin injury. Dennis Glennon, Kieran Gavin and John Connellan are all starting. It's been a great adventure for Fermanagh in these qualifiers. Westmeath, well, let's see, can they bounce back after their heavy defeat against Dublin in the Leinster final. Now they've no John Heslin to kick frees. That's Tiernan Daly, the Fermanagh fullback. Ray Connellan taking it short, trying to work something. Kieran Martin. There's no Ger Egan, so here's the captain on the field. This is Paddy Holloway, and now it's Shane Dempsey looking for the first point. And that is a lovely start for Westmeath and a great start for Shane Dempsey. And the Leinster side have the lead inside the second minute. This was nicely done. There seemed to be a little bit of indecision around free kick time, but they got their score. Owen Donnelly, remarkably, didn't play minor or under 21 for Fermanagh, but certainly making his mark at senior grade. Richard O'Callaghan. And they're picking their way through those defensive lines, and that looks brilliant. It is absolutely brilliant. 2 points apiece, and it's Declan McCusker who's got it in the 9th minute. Beautifully worked score, and Fermanagh steadying down, settling into this, and they really are getting going now. Paul Sharry. 12 minutes to the break. Sharry is fouled. It's been a stop-start sort of game. There's been no real flow to it. And where's the movement for Paul Sharry? Well, he spotted John Connellan, the Athlone clubman, just moving away from Niall Cassidy as marker, and John Connellan taking that on, and that's a superb point. The point of the match so far. Connellan has got 3 out of Westmeath's 4, and that's his first and their second from play, and that is well worth another look with 11 minutes to go to half-time. Nice little sidestep to take him away from Niall Cassidy, and that's a great finish. Killian Daly. Well, Westmeath starting to get into their stride. Here is Dennis Glennon. He's got away from Tiernan Daly. It's still there. John Connellan. And Connellan, his confidence is sky high at the moment. Another score for John Connellan, his second in the space of about a minute. And Westmeath opening up a bit of a lead here. 5-2. They are clear of Fermanagh. Dennis Glennon at the heart of that. And John Connellan is enjoying this. Declan McCusker, and a Westmeath man down after a heavy collision. Padraig Hughes, the referee, deciding to take no action as we follow the play. Now the Westmeath supporters closest to that didn't like it at all. A block on Tomás Corrigan, and the ball has eventually gone out of play, and the referee is going to have a word with his linesman to see how much he saw of the incident which left Killian Daly down on the ground. And Daly was slammed to the ground by Ryan McCluskey. Well, the linesman has told the referee what he saw, and Ryan McCluskey has received a black card. And this is just threatening to boil over at the moment. Sean Quigley been forced way out the field to try and get some meaningful possession for Fermanagh. He's their scorer-in-chief. Tomás Corrigan, no slouch in those terms either, and that has gone over from Tomás Corrigan, and that has been a long time coming. A huge point for Corrigan and for Fermanagh. It cuts the gap down to 2 points. We're in the 33rd minute. It's their first score since the 9th minute of this opening half. And Fermanagh with Tomás Corrigan now at full forward. Sean Quigley has now moved ahead of him. Tomás Corrigan, advantage been played. He takes it on himself, and the point is scored by Tomás Corrigan. Well, from somewhere they've found the inspiration. Well, Tomás Corrigan has been the scoring star. There's just one between them. They're back. Ray Kennellan of Westmeath. He's going away from Richard O'Callaghan. They've got Dennis Glennon in around the back, and Glennon takes his score. It opened up for him, but Tomas Tracy got out and narrowed the angle. I thought Glennon was going to have a go for goal. 6 points apiece. Ray Kennellan, good work, and a tidy little finish from Dennis Glennon. Ryan Jones. Richard O'Callaghan having to go back to collect, and now Sean Quigley. And Quigley with an absolute corker. That's the point of the game so far from Sean Quigley. He had trouble with the place balls during the first half, but Quigley now operating further out the field. And this is what he's been doing all summer, inside the 45-metre line. It was only going one place, and that was over the bar. Fermanagh by 7 points to 6. James McMahon of Fermanagh. Sean Quigley. Niall Cassidy. Ray Kennellan in front of him. Cassidy. Oh, he's got it. That is absolutely brilliant from Niall Cassidy. 4 on his back. But a top forward would be absolutely thrilled with that quality of score from a wide position. And now Fermanagh lead by 2 points in the 49th minute. A long passage of Fermanagh possession. Conal Jones. Now it's Declan McCusker, and Declan McCusker has found his range, and Fermanagh really taking it to Westmeath and pushing on now inside the final quarter. They lead now by 10 points to 6. Westmeath have just 1 point in the second half. Tomas Corrigan with 7 out of Fermanagh's 12 points. Here's his brother Rory. Richard O'Callaghan, beautiful flick forward. They could be in for a goal here. Tomas Corrigan, and there it is. And Fermanagh are heading back to the All-Ireland quarter-finals. Tomas Corrigan, the hero on the evening, with a beautiful finish. Great flick from Richard O'Callaghan, and Tomas Corrigan was just loitering behind, and the finish was inch perfect. And Gary Connaughton in the Westmeath goal could do nothing about it. Corrigan wanted it early, he got it, he finished it, and Fermanagh are into the last 8 for the 3rd time in their history. Well, after Fermanagh went out of the Ulster Championship, one of the targets Pete McGrath set for this Fermanagh team was that they would be playing championship football in August, and they're going to be doing that. On the August bank holiday weekend, they'll be in one of the quarter-finals. And they're in again here. This is Damien Kelly. And Damien Kelly, that's a tight one, but it's gone over the bar. And that is the icing on the cake. And Damien Kelly with his first point of the game. And the Fermanagh party is about to start in Cavan. And there is the whistle. It's all over as you watch Damien Kelly's point. What a second-half performance they put in. Tomas Corrigan's goal really put it to bed in the 29th minute of the second half. But all the issues and problems they had to deal with during the first half, 23 minutes without a score, they fixed them all and powered home. And it's Fermanagh who have beaten Westmeath by 113 to 7 points. They're into the quarter-finals. The adventure continues.
Oh, the lads are gutted, obviously. You know, it was tough, like, being in the game at half-time, and you know, played well enough the first 20-25 minutes. You know, but Fermanagh were always going to come at us. Everybody gets their spell in the game, and they just outperformed us in a big way in the second half.
Going out for the start of the second half, I knew, and the players knew, that if we brought our best game and got our best performance up and running, that we would win the game. And I thought in the second half we controlled the game generally. Our possession was good, our movement was good, the scores started to come, and then the confidence began to really flow through the team, and I think we won the game very comfortably.
Yeah, Joe Bradley, small county, small population, great scenes. It's a fantastic win for them, isn't it?
Well, Fermanagh get ripped into you. I mean, nobody likes to play Fermanagh. They fight for it. They don't want to lose. I mean, that's the default setting for championship football. You know, it's something that Cork doesn't have, for example. Fermanagh get ripped into you. They're a horrible opponent to play against, and they want to win, you know, and they bring that fervour. And I mean, Tom Cribben must have been watching a different game, because I mean, there were tactical, strategic malfunctions everywhere with Westmeath. I mean, he started to experiment with that defensive counter-attacking game plan 2 weeks before the Dublin match, and Westmeath were a total mess yesterday. They didn't know what they were doing. They would have been far better just to go into a traditional 15-man format.
Yeah, but equally, Fermanagh tactically were very, very good, weren't they?
They were. Well, they changed as
they adapted.
They adapted. They started with putting in long balls into Shawnee Quigley on the edge of the square, and it wasn't working. And
Joe, show us that. You were
said,
talking about that, the sweeper system.
Well, Sean's one of these flamboyant footballers. You know, I mean, he boasted it after the Leash match that I had pizzas at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I was still able to play like that. I was still able to kick 14 points.
That was harmless.
No, I know that,
sure.
but he's one of those types of players. He wouldn't be a particular workaholic on the field. But Westmeath decided they'd put a sweeper in front of him, and that really shut down Fermanagh's main game plan in the first 25 minutes. But what happened then transformed the game. You can see that everything that went in came out. By the 30th minute, Westmeath were 5-2 up, not having done anything in particular themselves, but they were growing in confidence a little, because Fermanagh were kicking everything in on top of the sweeper. And Quigley was there for anonymous, since he was being double marked. I mean, the game was inevitably drifting that way, and then Pete McGrath realised what it was that he needed to do, and that transformed the game.
And Kieran, illustrate to us how they changed things around.
Basically, they changed the dynamic of the forward line, the focus of their attack. You know, Quigley came out and got more involved around the middle, but they went down the flanks, and they basically made this Westmeath sweeper defunct. You know, they went down the channels, and here we see, you know, the Westmeath defenders get sucked down into the corner, and allows space from a Cusker to run into space. But basically in the first half, Quigley was in there. He was sitting in front of him. So it took, Westmeath never really adapted. They held him there for a long portion of the game. So I think Pete McGrath deserves huge credit for changing the whole dynamic. And here was one point, Des. Westmeath sat back and said, Fermanagh, come on, you come at us. Instead of manning up and saying, right, you know, I think we're good enough to match these guys, and let's play an attacking game. They played like the way they played against Dublin, getting men back.
Exactly.
Instead of playing, pushing up and trying to win the game, they played to try and defend the game. And here is a pass, again, the sweeper, defunct, out of position. He doesn't know. He at this stage he doesn't know what he's doing back there, John Gilligan, and it's a great score. Great score.
Yeah.
So, like, in fairness to McGrath, he changed things around. It was critical in terms of changing the momentum of the game, and Fermanagh kicked on for home.
The other thing is that even though Westmeath's blanket defence was primitive, because both teams were playing the blanket defence, it was an astoundingly boring spectacle. I mean, it was 5-2.
It was a poor game. There was a lot of bad. There was a lot of bad shot options and stuff like that.
But the changing in the game, the man who lit it up was Tomás Corrigan.
Yeah.
Because he's a real. I mean, he can really play.
Yeah.
And once he was switched with Quigley, once Quigley was brought out around the middle, as Kieran says, and once Tomás Corrigan went into the edge of the
and he was
square,
a different type of full forward. He moved across the line.
He's a worker.
He didn't stay in there.
But I mean, it exemplifies.
Let's have a look at that and carry on.
Well, if you're going to play a blanket defensive system, you need to have worked on it for at least 6 months. I mean, and this is the point Kieran made about Westmeath sweeper not knowing where to be. Quigley came to the middle of the field. Because Westmeath were retreating off and were retreating in behind their 45, Quigley had loads of time out there then to start spraying the ball around. And Corrigan's interventions were dramatic and definitive. That was the changing of the game. And I must say that his overall performance then was... I mean, first of all, he lit up Fermanagh, and their confidence flooded back to them. I mean, between the 30th minute and the 34th minute, he scored 2 fantastic points from play, and then himself and his brother conjured up a free. So they went from 5-2 to, on the half-time whistle, 5 each.
Yeah.
And from there on in, the game was, I mean, the die was cast from there on in. And in the second half, then Fermanagh just powered away, because Westmeath had actually no attack plan whatsoever of any kind, and their confidence drained entirely.
But the goal was the thing of beauty,
I mean, the goal was the only disappointing feature of the goal. I mean, look at it, it's beautiful. It's what I said to you about Cooper. He paused, he looked, he took his time. The only disappointing feature of it was that he didn't blow kisses to the crowd.
I told you, Joe, he would have deserved a slap if he had a blown kiss.
It's a Brawley-esque celebration.
I don't know, I tell you, I would have been proud of that goal. It was a delightful goal and a brilliant performance. Don't forget 1-7 from 1-12. Yeah. And all that began in the 30th minute when he was moved into the danger area.
Yeah.
A brilliant individual performance.
Black cards. Fermanagh suffered 2 black cards in the first half.
They did,
What did you
and
make of
it didn't make an impact on the overall game, Des, either, or the penalty call either. I think this one, Martin O'Brien, I think Pádraig Hughes gets this right, and I know Pádraig Hughes has got a hard time tonight, but
he got that right.
He got that right. That is a black card. I do have an issue with the Ryan McCluskey one though, and it comes back to that word consistency. Consistency is what you expect. The ball is gone, and they wrestle each other to the ground. The referee deems it a black card. Now, technically, a deliberate pull to the ground is a black card
Well, that's fair enough
within
then.
the terms
Yeah.
of the rules. But what was the intention of the black card? It was for cynical play. Now, we're seeing this week in, week out, where there's fellas wrestling and pulling fellas to the ground, and black cards are not being given out. Here's the perfect one. Here's the perfect one, Lee Keegan, but here's Pádraig Hughes again, yellow card.
Yeah.
So was there anything different with that to the Ryan McCluskey one? I don't think so, and I think it was a bad call.
I'm not sure, Kieran. The wrestle on the ground is a yellow card. I wouldn't have given him. I would say I wouldn't have given Ryan McCluskey a black card.
Hold on.
He gave one black and one yellow.
It comes back to the word consistency. You can argue that the wrestling, they should be given black cards for wrestling on the ground.
I'm not sure that's right.
I've no problem with that.
No, put it
But
this
it's
way.
a yellow one week and it's a black the following week.
But I disagree with that because there's a very clearly set interpretation that the referees have worked on exhaustively. Pat McEnany has done a huge amount of work with the referees. I mean, I agree with you.
What's Lee Keegan and Ryan McCluskey?
Nothing at all. I think they were all yellow cards. I don't think the second one was a black card.
Final word on a happier note.
No,
Fermanagh
that's
and all the
my
fans
point.
are heading to Croke Park to take on the Dubs.
Well, I mean, look, it's a pity it has to be the Dubs, and again, it comes back to the point that I think's raising, momentum. We need to have a Podio Shake Cup. We need to have a second-tier championship, so the teams at that level can move into it. I'll tell you this though, Fermanagh will get stuck into them, but their task is forlorn.
In fairness, Des, for a small county,
It's brilliant, yeah, it's brilliant.
18 clubs, Pete McGrath's done a fantastic job. Good guys in his backroom team, Ray Johnson, Brian Tracy, who've been with these guys all the way up.
Yeah.
It's going to be a huge day out
But
for
they've
them.
plenty of stuff, and the main thing about them
It's
is
going to be a difficult task.
In Fermanagh, they've got that. They've got that.
Don't I know all about it?
Yeah.
All right then, that's about it for tonight. My thanks to Kieran and Joe for their company and to you at home for watching. Of course, we'll be back at the same time next week with Fermanagh and the Dubs and lots more. So